Good afternoon, everybody. So, I need to sort out my electrical here. It's been kind of problematic. So I was trying out these new butt connectors. They have this solder joint in them. Thought they were going to be pretty decent. Well, they're absolute junk. There are those who will disagree with me, but they're junk. So, I'm going to be going through and rewiring all this. I've got the truck running because I'm going to be pulling some power with the heat gun. So I want to make sure my batteries stay up. Alright, now that all of that's done, that was a lot more of a project than I anticipated it being. It should have been 30 minutes worth of work. Instead, it became 5 hours. Now, that's not for lack of knowledge or messing something up. It simply comes down to I wound up chasing the wire harness more. Now, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Now, I first ran into this problem when I replaced the tail lights to begin with, long before I put the lollipops in. Anyway, so I went to my local Tractor Supply and I bought generic tail lights, 4-inch tail lights. And in order to tie those in, I had to cut out the OEM connector. How did you manage to get your phone jammed under the seat? Yeah, sometimes I wonder what he does when I'm not in the truck. Anyway, so I had to cut off the OEM Deutsch connector and put in a standard 3-prong. And as soon as I did that, I started finding breaks in the OEM wire harness. And I get everything wired up. It worked great for about a week. And then I'd wind up with a tail light that went out. So then I'd start chasing wire again. And I've been doing that since the middle of September. So it gets a bit frustrating that I'm having to do the same project over and over because the OEM wire is shoddy wire. Now, on top of that, a couple videos back I mentioned color code standards. You go to a travel center and you buy a 3-prong connector. White is ground or neutral. Black is your tail lights, red's your turn signal, stop. That's where you get your stop, tail, turn. When I got into this wire harness, I expected to find that industry standard color code. That's not what I found. On the 2022 Cascadia, and I can't speak for any of the other Cascadias of this generation, I'm going to assume that the 4th gen Cascadia is wired the same regardless of year. And that may apply to 3rd gen as well. I'm not sure. But on the OEM wire harness, brown is your ground, which does meet a criteria for standard colors, because your ground is typically brown, black, or white. They ran the stop tail through a red with a white stripe, and your tail light or your marker is a black wire. I'm not touching it again. It's locked down, it's watertight. I should have no problems with my lollipops or my taillights ever again. This is where having good tools comes in and good supplies. You should have a good connector set, a good set of shrink tubing, and preferably a heat gun. When I bought my shrink tubing, it came with a heat gun. I'll put links to all the products that I used down in the description. None of these links are affiliate links. I don't get any kickbacks. Now, when it comes to the connector kit, your standard butt connectors are pretty good. They're a shrink tube and a butt connector. But this kit also came with these new style shrink tube with a solder in the center. It's supposed to solder the wires together. They're absolute junk. Every time I've used them, I wind up with a problem. They don't hold, the glue degrades, and I have to go through and redo it. So I just went through and did butt connectors and shrink tubing. Those connections are watertight, they're good. Shouldn't have to mess with it ever again. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and try and get some video editing done. I've got another video to edit, and I've got this one to edit up. And then the truck's going in the shop tomorrow morning. In the meantime, drive safe. I'll catch you all later.